Since the Silk Road campaign came to an end last month, I've been thinking a lot about the progression of this campaign as a whole and the content that released as part of it. This was Payday 2's grand return to the limelight as Overkill attempted to blow off the dust from the game after over a year with no serious content updates. But with global brand director Almir Listo confirming in a recent video on Overkill's YouTube channel that more content will be arriving in 2021, I want to take some time to explore the last year of Payday 2 DLC and ask the question, was the Silk Road campaign actually good? What parts of this campaign should Overkill repeat in the next set of content drops, and which parts are best forgotten about? Well, it's time to try and answer those questions, so with that being said, my name is Red Archer Live, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to reflect on the Payday 2 Silk Road campaign. Roll the intro. So, to properly answer the question that I've set out in this video, I'm going to discuss some key positives and negatives that I've had towards the content of this campaign. There are definitely some things to like and dislike about this campaign that I have not included in this video, but what I have included are the things I think are the most important factors for the strengths and weaknesses of this DLC campaign. But please remember going into this that this is all based on my own personal opinions, and a lot of the things I say are quite subjective. So it's possible that I might like or dislike things where you feel the complete opposite way. And so if that's the case, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section down below. But either way, let's get right into discussing my favourite and least favourite parts of this campaign, and start off on a positive note. Okay, so I don't think I need to remind anybody who played Payday 2 in November of 2019 about the barrage of criticism that many players levied at the border crossing heist. It was criticised for a whole number of reasons. First off, its very strange layout and its unwillingness to split the mission into 2 days, instead having 2 very distinct halves and just putting somewhere in Mexico in between it to try and reference the Payday 2 main story ending. It then received a lot of hatred for reusing assets from previous heists instead of building something completely new, and it also faced some very similar criticisms to Goat Simulator for an obvious lack of good cover points, particularly in the central area of the second half of the heist, when you're prone to being shot in several different directions and having snipers in about 4 or 5 different perches at any one time. An issue that became even more of a pain in the heist's meth cooking variant, Border Crystals. Now, I agreed with the majority of those criticisms, but to be honest, the assets one always confused me, because did anyone really expect there would be a whole host of new assets for a company that had just spent a full year in near bankruptcy? But the other 2 points I do completely agree with. However, I would then pose a question to you. As the heists progressed across this campaign, did these problems get worse, did they get better, or did they roughly stay the same? Now, of course, your answer might differ to mine, but I'd point out that there's some very clear improvements in the progression from Border Crossing all the way up to Bullock's Mansion. So let's specifically compare those 2 heists. First off, Bullock's Mansion had a beautiful flow of objectives. There's not a great deal of screwing around or busy work in your objectives, you just get what you need to do done, with no strange intervals or attempts to extend the heist in the way the Border Crossing tried to. Some things may take a little too long to do, Door Bomb, I'm looking at you, but on the whole, the pacing of the heist is very strong. Secondly, let's look at the assets argument. Where Border Crossing reused tons of assets from old heists, Bullock's Mansion had a very fresh appearance and unique look, albeit a little bit Scarfacey, but let's be fair, that was always going to be the case for a heist that was set in a crime lord's mansion in just the same way as the Scarface Mansion heist was. Thirdly and finally, the cover was vastly improved by the time we got to Bullock's Mansion, with plenty of corridors and rooms to break lines of sight with police officers, except for the central courtyard. I will say that one is still a little bit of an open battlefield. But it wasn't Bullock's Mansion where all these changes suddenly happened. A good portion of this was seen in the previous heists as well. There's some very good breaks for cover in Breakfast in Tijuana and quite a few in San Martin, to be honest, and also those heists use a fair amount of new assets as well, in the same way that Bullock's Mansion does. And so seeing these clear and vast improvements from the start to end of the Silk Road campaign clearly demonstrates that Overkill were listening to criticism and constantly working to try and make each new heist more enjoyable. And while there are still some things in these heists that really do irritate me, such as not being able to pick up key objects in the heists until the objective you need them for is triggered, seriously, Overkill, it's 2020, please stop doing that. It is very clear to me, as said in the chapter's title, that the heists did increase in quality as time passed, and I really do hope that these increased standards carry over into 2021's content, and who knows, maybe they'll keep improving from there. But I guess we'll just have to see. But while the heists overall did see some serious improvements over time, there is one type of DLC content that I feel quite differently about. When the Border Crossing heist first released in Payday 2, one of the coolest new things added to the game as part of the update was the ability to customize your outfit, meaning for the first time in 7 years you didn't have to be stuck wearing the suit of the character you chose to play as. There were some free outfits added in the system to kick it off, but 4 outfits were also released and put behind the first of 3 Tailor Pack DLCs in the Silk Road campaign. The outfits in Tailor Pack 1 were fantastic, offering a wide variety of looks with some gorgeous styles and really vivid and differing colour variations. But then Tailor Pack 2 comes out and... Look, I know a lot of people like this pack, but to me, it just did not live up to Tailor Pack 1 at all. The outfits felt far less exciting and stylish to me, and I've not revisited any of them since this chapter of the DLC came out. And then you come to Tailor Pack 3, and while I do think the outfits in the pack are solid and definitely better than Tailor Pack 2's, there are only 2 outfits, as 2 of them were swapped out for 12 pairs of gloves. Which, fine, I understand the logic for, although I really wish we hadn't swapped one thing out for another. That just annoys me a little bit. But the one thing that really irritated me, and if you've seen my Bullocks Mansion bundle review, you'll know what's coming, but for one of the outfits in this Tailor Pack, the Long Gentleman, 3 of the 4 variants have the same colour coat. And it's this lack of uniqueness or variation that was my main point of contention with this DLC pack, and really helped contribute to my waning opinion of these DLCs over time. Now look, I'm not a game developer, I don't know the inner workings of Payday 2's development, but as far as I'm concerned from an outsider perspective, and I'm sure a lot of you can agree here, once you've built the core outfit and designed it and put it onto a character, coming up with colour variations should not be too difficult. And honestly, I was just so disappointed that the wild variety of colour variations you could see in the initial Tailor Packs had just started to vanish by the time we got to this Tailor Pack. Granted, the other outfits did have some colour variation in it, but we should not be at the point where some outfits have great variation and some don't. This was not an issue in the first Tailor Pack. Every single outfit had some great customization. It shouldn't be a pick or choose situation. Outfits like the Casual Formal and the Showman are iconic outfits still in the Tailor Packs, and honestly some of my personal favourites in the DLC section, and they are outfits I will keep going back to because they are so stylish, they look very cool on your heisters, and the colour variations are gorgeous. If you pick a different variation, you're getting a whole new look, not just a couple of bits changing colours. So honestly, as much as it sounds like I'm really railing on Overkill for this one, it's just the case of me wanting the level of variety that they had in November 2019 to be back again and be consistent in future updates. Because Overkill have quite clearly shown that they can manage it, so I'm just hoping that this level of variety will return and be consistent in 2021 in the way it was in the first Silk Road chapter. Because when I was looking through these outfits for my research, something else I realised was that the free outfits in this game got far better over time, whilst I felt the DLC outfits got worse. The Prime and the Impresario suits are in my eyes 2 of the game's strongest outfits, and I doubt you could find anyone that would easily disagree with that statement wholeheartedly. And so to end off my criticism in this chapter with some advice, I just ask that Overkill try and mix up the colour variations and make some more unique and stylish outfits for the Tailor Packs, should more come in 2021. I just want the DLC content that we pay for to be as good as the free content, and at this point in time when we look at the outfit packs, I just don't think the DLC is quite matching the level of the free content, at least not anymore. But either way, let's move on to another positive, this time looking at the way these DLC updates were priced. Okay, now my next point is not something that was introduced in the Silk Road campaign, rather something that was utilised very well as its chapters released. Payday 2 has a fairly strong reputation for making affordable DLC bundles out of new content for players who want to play anything and everything Payday 2 releases at the time it comes out for slightly cheaper prices. With the Big Score, Most Wanted and Master Plan console DLC bundles allowing Xbox One and PlayStation 4 heisters to get all of the paid DLC content of each update for an overall lower price, and on PC, the Legacy Collection, formerly Ultimate Edition, doing something very similar, Overkill had established a clear and reliable pattern of putting DLC content together into bundles and reducing the overall price so that you paid less if you were a bigger supporter of their content. And this level of consumer convenience is something they needed to maintain when they returned to Payday 2's development, and oh boy, did they pull it off in spades. With each Silk Road DLC update, there were 3 or 4 DLC packs, and in each of these updates, players were allowed to buy the DLC packs individually or as bundles for a cheaper price overall, with a reduction that was so impressive you were basically getting one of the cheaper DLCs for absolutely nothing. This notably reduced price tag being available from launch was a great way to encourage people to pick up the new content and support Overkill without busting bank balances, and judging from the amount of people you can see in games wearing the Tailor Pack outfits, flaunting cool weapon colours, or even just hosting the new DLC heists, I'm not really a gambling man. The most gambling I do is in Prominence Poker, but I bet that a fair amount of these DLC purchases came through the bundles because they were such good offers. And so my point of this chapter is to say that if Overkill decide to stick with this pattern they've established, releasing several DLCs at the same time in each update, then I hope these multi-DLC releases continue to be put out in bundles that reduce the overall price, as it would be the smartest move to allow for more sales and for more people to be able to actually afford and enjoy new Payday 2 content. It's something Overkill has established quite strongly and shown that they can keep doing, and so I really don't expect that to change going into the new year if they keep up this multi-DLC release pattern. But while the DLCs have been made quite affordable, it is fair to say that some of this content was received better than others, and there's one type of DLC content that faced a lot more criticism than most of the other things released during this campaign. Ever Ever since the first of these DLC packs released in early 2020 alongside the San Martin bank heist, the continued release of weapon colour packs across the Silk Road campaign became a bit of a point of contention for a fair amount of Payday 2 players, as some players accused this DLC content of being a blatant cash grab. So let's explore this argument in a bit more detail. At the end of the day, the only reason that Overkill have returned to Payday 2 to create new content is to generate revenue that they can pump into the development of Payday 3. And so to keep this revenue pumping, they need to keep releasing DLC packs, and the more, the merrier. Now to me, I don't care what DLCs they put out as long as they're interesting and worth the money. If you develop content that has no substance to it and is genuinely absolutely pointless, and then you slap it behind a price tag, then I would have a problem. And for some people, that's how they feel with the weapon colour packs, and that is fair. As I said earlier, a lot of these things are very subjective, but to me, I'm less harsh on them. I've personally found that using the weapon colour system has been far more entertaining and unique than just relying on getting a decent weapon skin once in a blue moon from daily skin drops. And the weapon colour system has also allowed me to easily apply slick and unique looks to my guns in a quick and easy manner with plenty of customization options. But with that being said, I can understand the criticism that's been levied towards this pack for not offering a lot and yet still being the same price as a weapon pack or a Tailor pack. Those of you who've been around on this channel for a while will know my attitude towards these DLC packs has always been, if you don't like them, don't buy them. But to be fair, as I was talking about earlier, if you bought the bundle for each of these Silk Road chapters, you would basically have received each weapon colour pack for free in the 3 chapters where one was released. Since, as I said, the savings meant you're basically getting one of the cheaper DLCs for absolutely nothing. But with these DLC packs being the point of contention that they are for some people, I wanted to make sure that I took a step back and looked at this problem holistically. And here are my overall thoughts. While I've been more appreciative of these packs than perhaps a lot of other players may have been, I do think the time to retire these DLC packs has come. I personally believe that any other colours they come up with for weapons now should just be released for free. Be it ones you unlock via achievements, ones you get through holdout rewards, through other challenges in the game, whatever it might be, I don't think any more weapon colours should be added to the game and locked behind price tags. We've now had 3 separate packs of 20 colours. That is 60 different weapon colours that you can pay for to apply to your guns, and to me that is more than enough customization to lock behind a paywall. And to be honest, I do think there comes a point where you'd run out of good colour schemes and combinations to apply to these guns, and you'd probably start to struggle to fill the 20 slots you'd have for each weapon colour pack DLC. And while I don't think they've reached that point yet, as you know I liked all 3 of the weapon colour packs they've released, I do think the writing could be on the wall soon, and so perhaps it might be smarter to stop with these before they get into that situation. I mean, personally, I'd like to see an ability introduced where you could mix different colours onto the gun at the same time and make it even more unique, but I guess that's a discussion for another day. But either way, there comes a point where change is necessary to ensure that things stay fresh, and honestly, I think change may well be needed here. In this video, I've highlighted 2 of my key likes and 2 of my key dislikes of this campaign of DLC, and I do hope that in saying what I have, Overkill will take on board some of the things I've said, both positive and negative, and apply them to their future content. But there are some things that I missed out that I really wish I had time to talk about. For instance, the music of these heists. Gustavo Cuchimio is constantly knocking it out the park with these heist tracks. He really is taking every new heist in his stride and composing something fantastic with every single track he makes. And also, I'm a massive fan of the fact that all 4 heists can be taken as both stealth and loud capers, so no matter your playstyle in Payday 2, there's something for you with every single one of these Silk Road heists. But there are far more things to be said both for and against the Silk Road campaign, and remember, I'm just one voice in a community of thousands upon thousands of players, so now I turn the mic over to you. What are your thoughts on the Silk Road campaign? Do you agree or disagree with the points I've made? And are there likes and dislikes that you have towards the campaign that I didn't even mention in this video? There are far more points I could have made with regards to the Silk Road campaign, and if you guys want, I could make another video discussing some more likes and dislikes, but I'm already at 30 minutes in my recording, and I think that's probably time for me to shut up. So all I'll say is I'll welcome further discussions on all of the things I've said and more in the comments section below. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video, and if you have enjoyed it, as always, you know what to do. Please give it a thumbs up, as it shows me you like this kind of content and would like to see more. And if you aren't yet subscribed, then why not change that? Because it's quick, it's free, and I'll always love you for doing so, and you'll never miss out on another video for Payday 2, Payday 3, or anything in between for any platform. And as always, a very special thanks go to my patrons for supporting me financially beyond just watching and supporting my content. And if you'd like to join them in supporting me over there, then head to the link in the description or on screen now and get some pretty cool perks for doing so. Additionally, channel memberships are also now active, so if you fancy supporting me a little bit closer to home than Patreon, you can do it now on this very platform. The rewards are somewhat similar to the Patreon rewards, but it is another way you can support me if you feel like doing so. But as always, donations on any of these platforms are never expected, but they are always appreciated and help to support myself and the channel to keep content coming out for you guys on a reliable and steady basis. Anyway, I will see you all next weekend for the final video of 2020, and believe me when I say we are ending this year with a bang. I'd say more, but I really don't want to spoil this one for you. Until then, I'll see you all on my Twitch page at twitch.tv/RedArcherLive for some more live streams, and next weekend for a brand new video. So thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon.